Just happened to be nosy and stumbled onto a file sharing program site that was really getting music, downloading music, LimeWire.
Not charged with possession of pornography. I was using a file sharing program. It was LimeWire network.
It's a peer-to-peer file sharing program that millions of teenagers use to share music and videos. But today, 37-year-old John Clickman of Ingleside appeared in a Lake County courtroom, accused of using the LimeWire program to obtain images of an underage female engaged in a sexual act.
Well, a couple years ago, a young man used an application, LimeWire, to download free music, then free movies, and then free porn. And now, it's going to cost him his freedom.
Just look at these numbers from a recent New York Times investigation. In 1998, more than 3,000 child sexual abuse images were found circulating online. Just 2 years later, that number jumped to 100,000. And by 2018, over 45 million images and videos were flagged as child sexual abuse.
At any given time, there are an estimated 750,000 child predators online, and they all have a key to your house via the internet.
The digital world, much like our own physical realm, has always been a blend of light and darkness. Platforms and software, envisioned to democratize access to knowledge and content, have often been used as tools for illegal activities, unearthing a realm that lies beyond the reach of conventional law enforcement. One such platform was LimeWire, a peer-to-peer file-sharing software that stands as a testament to the double-edged sword of digital freedom. Launched in 2000, LimeWire served as a beacon of free content, a virtual cornucopia for music lovers, cinephiles, and ordinary internet users alike. It symbolized the great promise of the digital age, an age where access to entertainment and knowledge would be democratized, free from the constraints of physical distribution and traditional gatekeepers. However, it soon became apparent that LimeWire was not only a platform for sharing songs and videos, but also a conduit for darker, more sinister activities. Its peer-to-peer architecture became a fertile ground for the illegal distribution of copyrighted content, and much worse, explicit materials involving minors. This dual nature would define LimeWire's legacy and ultimately lead to its downfall. Perhaps the most intriguing chapter of LimeWire's storied history involves the case of an ordinary man, Michael Fields. His activities on LimeWire, driven by a passion for music, led to a shocking discovery by the Attorney General's Cybercrime Unit. Among the thousands of music files and adult videos on his computer, investigators found explicit content involving minors. Despite Fields' claims of being unaware of the illegal content among his downloads, his use of LimeWire's file-sharing feature ultimately led to his downfall. This case served as a potent example of LimeWire's unintended function as a digital watchdog. As much as it facilitated the distribution of illicit content, its very architecture led investigators to offenders, thereby inadvertently aiding in the pursuit of justice. Fields' story stands as a chilling cautionary tale that underscores LimeWire's role in the broader narrative of digital freedom, its abuse, and the unforeseen consequences that can arise from our interactions with the virtual world. Before we delve into the depths of this story, a word of caution. This exploration is not for the faint of heart as it uncovers the darker side of our digital world. It serves as a stark reminder that technology, in all its glory and promise, can also be a conduit for humanity's most heinous acts. Yet it also illuminates the relentless pursuit of justice and the tireless efforts of those who use the very same technology to protect the innocent and vulnerable. As we navigate this narrative, let us remember that every tool is but a reflection of those who wield it. It can be a weapon of harm or a shield of protection, depending on the hands that hold it. Peer-to-peer networks, or P2P networks by design, are a decentralized, democratic paradigm of digital interaction. It's a world where every user is both a client and a server, contributing to and benefiting from a vast pool of shared resources. But just as these networks can be used for sharing innocent content like music or movies, they can also be weaponized to traffic illegal materials. This was the case with LimeWire, which operated on the Gnutella network. Its architecture made it easy for users like Michael Fields to amass huge libraries of songs and videos by downloading the contents of other users' libraries en masse. But it was this very feature, that led Fields unknowingly into the dark underbelly of digital file sharing. The P2P nature of LimeWire made it nearly impossible to monitor or regulate the type of content being shared. As such, explicit content, and more alarmingly, child pornography, circulated alongside copyrighted music and movies. In Fields' case, the indiscriminate select all command proved disastrous. The massive downloads he conducted to grow his music library inadvertently included these illegal files, drawing the attention of law enforcement agencies. It was investigator Tom Bell of the Cybercrimes branch of the Attorney General's office who discovered the digital trail leading to Fields. By tracking known signatures of child pornography being shared over the network, Bell was able to identify Fields' IP address among those offering such files for download. While P2P networks such as LimeWire gave ordinary users like Fields access to an enormous array of content, it also laid bare the risks of uncontrolled, unmonitored file sharing. Users could, often without their knowledge, become part of illegal activities simply by participating in the network. In a strange twist of irony, the same attributes that made these networks a hotbed for illegal activity also made them useful to law enforcement agencies. The digital footprint left by users, often involuntarily, gave investigators like Bell the leads they needed to track down offenders. Fields' case illuminates this dark side of P2P networks, a side that led to his 10-year sentence for possession of explicit content involving minors. In this narrative, LimeWire, once a beacon of digital freedom, emerged as a double-edged sword. While providing users with unprecedented access to shared content, it also exposed them to unimaginable risks and became an unwitting ally of law enforcement in the pursuit of justice. Our tale begins at the dawn of the new millennium. The world was on the brink of a digital revolution, internet usage was skyrocketing, and society was gradually moving from the physical to the digital sphere. Amidst this transformation, an insidious undercurrent was gaining strength. This was the evolution of unseemly and illicit imagery distribution, moving from physical handovers to digital transmissions. The case of Michael Fields, as one example, showed how peer-to-peer networks such as LimeWire could become a veritable minefield of accidentally acquired and possessed illegal materials. Let's rewind to a time before the digital age. Back then, the possession of explicit illegal materials was heavily constrained by physical limitations. The networks operating in these spheres were clandestine, the exchanges risky. The process was fraught with danger. One misstep could lead to exposure, arrest, and prosecution. The content was often concealed in a myriad of ways in secret compartments, innocuous-looking items and unremarkable envelopes passed hand to hand in shadowy corners. But then came the internet, and with it came unprecedented changes. Digital platforms, with their capacity for anonymity and vast reach, significantly lowered the barriers to acquiring such content. Thousands, even millions of files became accessible at the mere click of a button. The covert exchanges in dimly lit alleys evolved into online transactions executed from the apparent safety of one's home. In the case of Fields, this easy accessibility led to the unintentional downloading of inappropriate content. Buried amidst the thousands of files he acquired in his pursuit of an extensive music collection. As the digital ocean of files on his computer swelled, it became increasingly difficult for him to sift through the content he was downloading. The sheer volume and pace at which he was amassing files meant that illicit content could easily slip through undetected. Despite the shift towards digitization and the accompanying increased risks, there was a ray of hope. In this expansive digital landscape, law enforcement found a new tool to track the proliferation of explicit content, the hash value. Every file downloaded, every image opened, leaves a unique digital footprint. This footprint, known as a hash value, is as unique as a human fingerprint and became a beacon for investigators like Tom Bell, shining a light on the spread of illicit content even in the vast sea of data. Through the lens of Fields' case, we see the transformation in the distribution of unseemly imagery. The story underscores the dual impact of digitization, on one hand enabling the rapid spread of illicit content, and on the other hand providing law enforcement with potent tools for investigation and prosecution. The very digital footprint left behind in the process of downloading and viewing files served as undeniable evidence, leading to the conviction of individuals involved in these activities, even if their involvement was unintentional or inadvertent. This transformation, from physical to digital, heralded a new era in the fight against the distribution of explicit materials. Before we continue, if you've stuck around until this point, we'd like to take a moment to thank you for your support. Your engagement truly makes a difference. If you find our content valuable and want to support our work further, please consider liking this video, leaving a comment, and of course, subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to check out our other videos as well. Every bit of support helps us continue to bring you these deep dives into the digital world. Thank you, and now let's get back to the video. While the prosecution used the hash values as their primary tool in establishing Fields' guilt, his defense took a different route. Fields maintained his innocence throughout, alleging that he did not knowingly download the illicit content. The narrative built by the defense was one of an enthusiastic music lover, enamored by the prospect of expanding his collection, who accidentally ensnared himself in a web of illegal content. Fields' argument was one of ignorance. He maintained that he did not preview or search through the files prior to downloading. He only intended to sort and catalogue the files later. He further insisted that he had no idea that child pornography was amongst the files he downloaded from LimeWire. Despite this, the defense was faced with a mountain of digital evidence: the hash values of the explicit content found on his computer and the connection of his IP address to the distribution of such files. This digital evidence had already painted a vivid picture of Fields' involvement in the jury's mind. To counter this, the defense highlighted the bulk nature of Fields' downloads and the fact that the incriminating files were discovered amidst a large collection of adult pornography. They argued that this supported Fields' claim of unknowingly downloading the illegal content. However, the defense's arguments fell short. In the eyes of the court, Fields' reckless downloading behavior didn't absolve him of his responsibilities as a user of a peer-to-peer network. The court reaffirmed that downloading files, whether with intent or in ignorance, from a platform known for its vulnerability to misuse, does not exempt one from the consequences of the law. In this digital age, as we tread on the blurred lines of cyber law, Fields' case offers a crucial lesson. The realm of digital media might offer the convenience of bulk downloads, a myriad of content, and even a sense of anonymity. However, it doesn't provide a shield from accountability and justice. Our actions in this vast digital landscape can, and often will, bear real-world consequences. As the curtains fall on this case, we move on to the next chapter of our journey, delving deeper into the labyrinth of the digital world. The FBI's active involvement in tackling child pornography on the dark web marks a turning point in the fight against such despicable acts. Notably, the FBI's operation of child pornography websites to identify users, as revealed in an affidavit obtained by the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, brought to light a new controversial strategy. One such website, known as Playpen, had its membership rise by a third, and operated more efficiently during its clandestine operation by the FBI, as per the defense lawyer for Stephen Chase, the original administrator of Playpen. However, the rabbit hole went deeper. As per the affidavit, the FBI had not disclosed that it operated 23 other sites dedicated to the advertisement of child pornography, the discussion of matters pertinent to child sexual abuse, including methods and tactics offenders used to abuse children, as well as methods and tactics offenders used to avoid law enforcement detection, while perpetuating online child sexual exploitation crimes. These websites, reportedly running at a government facility, gathered request data associated with a user's actions, offering invaluable information to law enforcement. While this strategic phrasing doesn't explicitly state that the FBI operates these websites, it implies that they have been hosted with the FBI's knowledge, benefit, and possibly under their management. However, these revelations sparked significant controversy. Critics have pointed out that the government's operation of these sites could be seen as an endorsement or promotion of child pornography, even if the intent is to catch those who are distributing and downloading such materials. Others argue that the end justifies the means, emphasizing the importance of apprehending those engaged in such horrific crimes. It is noteworthy to mention that the FBI's investigation and subsequent sting operation resulted in Stephen Chase being found guilty of engaging in a child exploitation enterprise, advertising child pornography, and several counts of possession and transportation of child pornography. This operation provides a fascinating insight into the new and ethically ambiguous techniques law enforcement is willing to employ in an effort to tackle such serious cybercrimes. While the necessity to fight against child exploitation is beyond doubt, the methods employed to achieve this end have sparked extensive debate about the balance between fighting crime and the potential inadvertent facilitation of these heinous acts. In a world where the internet has become inextricably entwined in nearly all facets of life, crime has evolved too. The Michael Fields case serves as a compelling reminder of how adept law enforcement has become at investigating and prosecuting crimes in the digital realm. From tracking hash values on P2P networks to forensic analysis of seized hardware, modern investigative techniques have far exceeded the rudimentary measures of the past. Investigator Tom Bell's role in Fields' conviction illuminates the innovative methodologies that have been adopted to counteract cybercrimes. Bell and his team painstakingly scrutinized digital trails, employed advanced forensic tools, and managed to decode an IP address into a tangible, prosecutable crime. At the heart of such investigations lie digital footprints, indelible markers left behind when individuals engage with the digital world. Even when operating in the relative anonymity of P2P networks like LimeWire, these footprints act as silent testimonies to activities undertaken behind the screen. However, as cybercrimes become more sophisticated, so too must our defenses. Law enforcement agencies worldwide are now investing heavily in cybercrime units, equipping themselves with the latest technology and hiring skilled personnel to deal with the constant challenges presented by the digital landscape. Yet this is not just a challenge for law enforcement, but for each individual navigating the digital world. As we continue to share, download, and interact online, we must recognize our roles and responsibilities within this virtual universe. Our story ends here, but the dialogue around digital rights and responsibilities is far from over. The tale of LimeWire, its role in the world of P2P sharing, and the cautionary tale of Michael Fields are all part of a larger narrative about the role of the internet in our lives and the necessity for careful, lawful navigation of the digital world. As technology continues to evolve, we must strive to stay informed, vigilant, and proactive in our approach to the digital age.